Gang's all here in the jury duty house. Tonight we are talking about RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 7. All winners. Let's get into it. I am Kyle Petty. Despite Gina's eviction colors, she is with us on tonight.
Don't kick me out.
The always gorgeous Gina Morgino with the forever fabulous John Dunphy and our very, very special, not just guest, family member, basically, James Walsh. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this is Jury Duty, your favorite Big Brother podcast, except tonight we are discussing RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars, as we said. We're doing 2 episodes tonight. Lots to go over because we were booked last week because we had a celebrity. Okay, right, we were filming something for Big Brother Australia, our Australians friend down under. Actually, P.S. wasn't RuPaul's Drag Race like Australia pretty bad?
It was terrible, actually.
Right.
It's so crazy you should say that.
Right? What happened? I've
Not
been actually
much.
now wanting to go back because Survivor so much better in Australia. Big Brother, I don't want to say better, but different and fun. And now, but Drag Race, really bad.
No.
We'll have to take another gander at that one. We're gonna have to re-up that WoW Presents Plus membership.
Oh, baby girl, I got you.
So we can
Don't
go
you
and give it
fret.
another go. All right, because at $3.99, I had some gay guilt canceling that thing. But I was like, I don't know that I give 2 shits anymore. But yeah, we'll get into that later because there's a lot of American stuff to talk about tonight.
A lot of American stuff to talk about.
Lots of American stuff to talk about. I got to tell you, this first episode 5, I thought was a clunker. Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah. Sorry, I skipped a rather large portion. This was honestly, I have to now take back some of the smack that I spoke about Snatch Game because this was by far worse than any Snatch Game I have.
I genuinely don't even remember what this episode was. I cared so little.
And you want to know what that is? You know why that has happened to you, Miss Gina? It's because it was the worst challenge we've ever seen. There was nothing memorable that happened. I'm sure James will have lots to say about it, but
Always.
Yeah, this was the draguation speeches.
Correct.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I didn't even watch them. I huffed and puffed and sighed all through the rehearsals of them going through it, and I said, "Why am I putting myself through this, Kyle? If you don't want to watch it, you don't have to."
See, I enjoyed Nikki Glaser and her reactions to
I don't know Nikki Glaser.
She's
Do
better.
I know her? I can't remember.
I was like, "Who's this white girl, and why do we care what her opinion is?" Who is Nikki Glaser?
She's a comedian, and
Yeah.
That's right.
She's
Keep
a
the comments for
comedian.
my cancellation, but that's all right.
Yeah, she's like a comedian. I agree. This wasn't my favorite episode. And I think what's worse is I think this replaced the roast. And I love a roast.
Oh, don't say that. Why
And
do
I
you
think
think
that's-
that?
Just because the fundamentals of what this challenge are is to go up and do something, like to prepare a speech and do that by yourself. And that's the fundamentals of what this challenge was, which is to go up and say something. So for that reason, I do think that we just witnessed what is going to be our roast. And I'm devastated because that's not what I wanted. That was not the fantasy being fulfilled.
Right. It's not
But
even
before-
the jantasy.
No, I'm not feeling the jantasy.
No, there's no jantasy to be felt.
But what even annoyed me right off the bat on this episode was we get revealed in this one from Ms. Paul himself that there's a twist, but a twist he doesn't fully understand, which is the winners get 2 stars. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, and you could keep one and give the other one away. Oh. And I was like, it's Mario Party. It's still Mario Party. You're getting a coin star.
This is Mario Party with queens.
With queens. Literally.
Yep.
Everyone's Princess Peach.
No, everyone is not.
I don't like that.
Let's not go too far. We got a couple of daisies in there, and definitely a handful of Rosalina.
Couple of daisies?
Don't you? Ah, don't you dare.
But
Now,
in that, no, John, you first.
No. I just wanted to ask because at the beginning of this episode, we got a very interesting moment. I thought when all the girls were coming back in, and you have that moment of like whoever got the platinum plunger comes walking in, and the Vivian actually just kind of gave it up, like, oh, I was actually thinking about blocking Jinx, but I couldn't because she was top 2, and I'm like, what did you think about her saying that? Just like willingly giving that information up.
I said, that's too nice. Is she Canadian? She's not from the UK. That's a Canadian move. That's very nice to just sit there and say, I was going to fuck you over, but you were saying.
I just didn't understand that.
Listen, I don't always understand what the Vivian does, but and I liked her in episode 2. Episode 2. It's really episode 6, but episode 2 for us tonight. So I don't want to say anything about the Vivian. Negative right now because like I really feel really good about her in 6.
I just thought it was interesting because it's like you just blocked someone, so like why now get somebody else on your have them on your radar if you don't have to.
It was a weird strategy move. I don't get it. I don't know what I think maybe what she could have think it was like a compliment. We either in the sense of Jinx, you're doing too well and I want to slow you down, or Jinx, great job winning this week or being in the top this week because you would have been blocked. Like that kind of like motivational thing. But I think it's weird. And Bob said this on the pit stop, but like Jinx is like really easy to get into her head. Like you just say one thing to her and she like goes off the deep end.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, is it that kind of thing? Is it the Vivian trying to throw off her games? Because maybe then like Jinx will think everyone's like gunning for her. Made more apparent that what happens in episode 7. We won't talk about it, but foreshadowing for our listeners.
Episode 7.
I mean 6. Sorry, episode 6.
Wait a minute. Am I way behind? I don't know. I think there could be some things that were edited out because it seems to be that there's some kind of a rivalry between Vivian and Jinx that we're not really getting to see all the bones about. We don't really understand what the foundation is there. We did get a brief mention from Jinx, I think in 6, basically saying like, "Oh, she's the most like me," or was that in 5? I don't know. I watched them back to back, so I don't know. I've been behind. So I don't know. Like, I just feel like there might be just some things that were left out. We need feeds.
Okay, hold on. That's an
because
idea.
we need context. It is an idea.
Of drag race feeds.
Can you imagine if there were drag race feeds? So first of all, we can just get rid of Untucked that I have not kept up with anyway. We wouldn't even need that if we had feeds. I mean, that's leaps and bounds better than Untucked. I don't need your edited version of what I'm not seeing that was already edited. No, I want to see like the raw footage. Like
I want to know.
I want to know. I want to really know what's going on.
Right.
No, I agree. I think this is like one of the things from this season, which I think is a real pitfall from this season. And I think it's because we're like looking at an all-winner season. This edit, I am not live, laugh, loving this edit. I am, in fact, very annoyed by it because everyone gets a really nice edit. Everyone looks like they are amazing. And I do think these queens are amazing, but I think we're losing some context, like you said. Like, I'd like to see more tension between two queens who are very alike. I'd like to see some tension that's between Raja and Evie, who at this point in episode 5 doesn't have a star. And like they're frustrated by that, especially Evie, who I would love to know your thoughts. Do we think Evie has been robbed thus far? Do we think Raja has been robbed thus far?
Is this a question for now? Are you posing a hypothetical for later discussion?
I know, I'd love to.
But if it's for now, I gotta tell you, I do not believe a theft has. I don't.
I like how you couldn't even commit to that one.
It just got so stupid. No, I don't think Evie's been robbed. Not at all. Evie has been a consistent underperformer. In my but that is not to say that the performance is subpar. Okay, I think
Right.
the issue here is that we would have been a front runner if we were not up against these people. Do you know what I mean? Like,
She is subpar to the standard the season has set, but in like an overall standard,
right. I
she's
am not saying that I'm not an Evie fan. I just say in this pack, she definitely is the bottom.
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
not to say that she's not talented. I'm not saying she doesn't deserve to be there. I'm a big Evie fan, but in this context, she's not getting
Yeah.
it done. Not in
You
my
know,
opinion.
I'm actually wondering though, because I completely agree with you that to this point, I don't think that Evie has been robbed. But I will say that in 5 and 6, I think a couple of my favorite Evie looks have come out of these last couple of episodes. So I'm wondering if maybe she's like kind of getting into a little bit of a groove, maybe coming into her own a little bit on this season. Maybe we could see some bigger things from her moving forward. Personally,
Yeah, no, I'm down to bookmark that for later review.
yeah.
What about
Where-
Raja? Do we feel like Raja, the theft? Has there been a theft from Raja's bank? The Bank de Raja? Have we
I'm
had
having,
a
I'm
robbery?
having a harder time with Raja. I'm having a harder time there.
Yeah.
Because I do feel like there has been some thievery, all right, on Raja's part. However, I don't disagree with any other decision that's been made. So I don't know where Raja would get in, because I also can't say who I think should be booted out from wherever. I think that everyone who got a star deserved a star. I haven't had a problem like there. So I just feel like Raja should get one. I don't know where, but like Raja should have gotten one just because she is doing great things.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily believe over anyone else.
I think they've manufactured a few things where you have for someone who's blocked, who's gotten a star, where I'm like easily like them and Raja, like in one of Jinx's situations and one of Trinity's situations, Raja could have been up there and I would have been totally like fine with it.
Right.
But they were
Right.
like, well, the blocking needs to mean something because that platinum plunger that's totally gold needs to get to good use.
Exactly, because we're also the same producers who watch Big Brother, and we see a lot of failed twists, and we're gonna make sure this twist is not flop.
This is not gonna be a
Right.
flop.
Not on
This
my
ain't the
show.
high rollers room.
Oh no, this ain't no BB Buck situation. We're gonna see. We're gonna see some dramas. And James is like, yeah, okay. I'm glad you guys are having fun. I know what you're talking about.
Listen, I know the high rollers room. I know craps and jokers and the other ones.
Craps and jokers.
I was like, oh, he knows Joker. It's like, okay, but no,
I know jokers,
he's
and then there was
just
another
saying
one.
casino things. Like,
Yeah, slots and coins and booze and blackjack.
lots of
Kyle was
things.
like very impressed for a second, then he went, "Oh,
No, they did no
Oh.
jokers. I will give myself that.
You were
That
just
was one
saying
team, and there was
casino things.
jokers and the queens. Jokers and the. No, there weren't.
Queens were there.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree less.
The Queens were there. Could I just
Yeah.
also just mention, like, real quick, like, James, the fact that you were on the Gay Flower on Friday and said nothing about it. Now, granted, I was in transit hell, so I could not have attended. But watching the videos back was quite possibly the worst FOMO I've ever felt in my entire life.
I was getting ready to go to work as Michelle was coming over so they could all get ready to go together. And I was like, you're coming into my home and I'm not even invited.
Yeah, it was really hard. And I played back some videos because now I follow Ty on Instagram because I need to be notified the next moment something like this is coming up. And Tommy was just like, what is that? He's like, we missed that. And I was like, yeah, and you know whose fault it is? James Wall.
So
we
all the listeners out
invite
there-
him into our life, and he excludes us from a Spice Girls boat dance party. I honestly think that I could murder you and have a conversation with the police, and they would say, "You know what, sir?
Justified.
Justified. You
Mhm.
can go on your way, sir. You go on
They
your
would
way."
look at me. They would
You're
look at me
damn
and
right,
say,
how dare
"Stop
you."
right now. Thank you very much."
Thank you very much. Really good.
Let me defend myself really quick.
Try. Yeah.
Okay,
tell me about
perfect.
it.
So
What is it?
first, all listeners, Ty Sutherland has a boat that you can go onto. It's
No,
called the
no,
Gay
we're not going
Flower.
to tell
It's
them
themed.
now, so the next
But-
thing can be sold out. No, don't know nothing about it. You're not going to find it. Don't look at Instagram. Nothing.
But my statement is, this is the first time I've ever gone to one of these, and because I am a Spice Girls whore. I love the Spice Girls. I said whore.
Well,
But I love the Spice Girls, and I said I will not miss this, but I've never been to one of it, and it's on a boat, which is bizarre. So you don't know how long it's going to be. And I also don't know what the vibe is. Am I dealing with like circuit gays? Am I dealing with like people who are just drugged out of their mind or are not having a good time? Happily not. So now that I know what the vibe is going in, I'm going to reach to a further audience. But I reached out to my dancing queens first and foremost. And now that I've sussed out the vibe, next week is a Bangers boat, which is Miley Cyrus Bangers.
I know, I saw that one already.
And then after that, there might be a Rihanna boat. I'm just saying. Could be fun.
I am ready to work. Let me tell you something. The Spice Girls are everything, okay?
Yes.
The Spice Girls are the reason why my best friend since junior high, that is like asleep in the room next door, the reason why we are friends is because of the Spice Girls. Okay?
That's nice.
No, really, like I'm not even kidding. I was standing in gym, not participating. Being like
gay experiences.
A typical fat person in my homemade iron-on Spice Girls t-shirt.
Yes.
And I'm letting everybody go past me for softball. I'm like, you can go, because I didn't want to bat because the ironic thing here, I am fantastic at baseball and softball. All right, I make contact with the ball and it's out of here every single time. Okay, but she doesn't run.
Mm-mm.
All right, so it doesn't matter how far I hit it. I will just barely make it to first. I'd rather not participate. I would rather disappoint you at the plate than like fail at my running. You know what I mean? It's terrible. So
especially with sucks. I was
else?
just gonna say especially what sucks in baseball or softball is if you get a home run where you theoretically don't have to run, you still run.
Right. Well, I wouldn't. I'm like, listen, bitch, we are definitely strolling this one out. Like, if I don't have to run, I'm definitely not gonna. No, you're not gonna catch me like that. I earned that home run. Are you kidding me? Why do I have to run if I nailed it out of here? They have to run to go get
my reward.
Exactly. This is my reward. My reward is a stroll around this park. Okay, get out.
Strut to the bases.
Put on Britney in the background.
Too much effort. I am just getting around these spaces just to get my point. Okay.
They play "Lucky" by Britney Spears, and you just strut down to "Lucky" like she's so lucky. It'll be nice.
Actually, my least favorite Britney song. That's a whole. That's a whole.
Actually, it's so crazy. This podcast conflicts with something. I have to go.
It's not my fault that that's one of her worst songs.
Oh man,
I'm so sorry. Who was prepared for that? That's crazy thing to say. You're gonna get roasted in the comments.
And they should try it. They should try it. Lyrically, it's a wonderful song. But listen, hear me out. Even though this is now a tangent, we've already gone way off. But like my problem with Lucky is not the song itself. The lyrics are fantastic and it's wonderful. The tone of the music itself and the song itself does not match the sentiments in the lyrics. So now we are losing. It doesn't matter. We are losing something. We really would have gained a lot if we need to rewrite this song and the music that goes with it to match the lyrics and give it the darker feel that it deserves.
Well, yeah, that's what you had to cover for, but it's a juxtaposition of like the feeling versus what's happening. Like "Dancing on My Own," that's a very upbeat sounding song. The lyrics are devastating.
Right, but it's not. It's not. It doesn't.
Anyways, that's episode 5.
All right, it's just not enough. It's not enough. Back to episode 5. Even though, all right, so the recap here is that, like, you were in the wrong for not sharing. That's all I really wanted to make sure people knew. So now that that's there, we have a baseline to move forward on. We shall.
Sure.
So episode 5. I don't know why anybody puts up with me.
I love it.
Honestly, and that conversation was more fun than this challenge.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
I'm spitting straight facts tonight.
And I wonder if they knew that, like, this episode wasn't going to be as great. And that's why they were like, we got to throw in this 2 extra star thing, and we got to try to spice it up a little bit, something like that.
Spice up their life.
Spice up your life.
I'm mad.
You said every boy and every girl.
So anyway.
Stupid.
So anyway.
Stupid.
So stupid.
But okay, so here are my statements. Here are my thoughts.
Mhm.
High points, low points of 5 in terms of the challenge. One, a simultaneous high and low point is that Evie throws us our third white canvasy look with things drawn on it to be like that, whatever, which we've seen by Shay and we've seen by the Vivian. They both had that Catwoman, that Shay with that Catwoman look, and I think it wasn't the Vivian who had that other like everything was drawn on and it looked whatever they keep referring to it as. No, not this one. But
I know
No.
I don't have titles for these. So
no, it's quite all right. It was when the Vivian did the drag look. So it was her graduation look, which
Right.
was just like a gown that had drawn on. I was like, why are we doing this again? High point, I thought Jinx's thing, I really giggled my ass off with that one. I thought Jinx was, as always, like the comedy comes really strong, and I thought it was a good story. I thought Evie's message of failing.
Jinx's was the Amsterdam getting hit by the car, right?
Sure was.
It's all over the place.
You know what? Bring some light to
Very
trauma. And Evie's fail hard was really good. And you know what I really didn't like? The Vivian's character. Something felt weird about laughing about a person who is sober, joke about being drunk. I was like, feels bad.
Listen, I didn't watch any of those, but I gotta say, I'm not loving the Vivian on this like I thought I would.
I agree. I concur.
Yeah.
But then we get to the runway, and I think the runway was much better. The runway was the high point of this show, of this episode.
I don't even remember. I only remember
The
the Dolly
veiled
runway now because
it was the
This
veiled
was
runway.
the veiled one. So I have a few of them here. I'm gonna start throwing them up. Here's Monet.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you
Kyle,
think?
your thoughts?
Let me tell you something. Conceptually, I thought the execution was wonderful. Anything bird skeeves me, however.
Interesting.
Oh,
Yeah,
Kyle don't do birds.
I don't do
You want to
bird.
unpack that?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm just
You've
scared of
never
them.
heard this before? Kyle don't do birds.
Oh no, birds just scare the hell out of me. They fucking freak me out. Okay, so like, I don't like feathers. I don't like their sudden movements. I don't like how jittery they are, even when they're sitting still. I just hate them. Okay, like birds just really don't do it for me. So like, just seeing these feathers kind of like made me hot. Okay, like it just made me very uncomfortable.
Okay.
But I mean, put on a body like that. I mean, like she looked fantastic in it, and the colors of it. I mean, it was gorgeous. Love how we are matching the eyeshadow so very perfectly. I mean, everything about the look was great. I just really just wish it wasn't bird themed. Otherwise,
I agree. I don't lose my mind for a Monet runway usually. Like I usually think she does a really decent job, but she walked out. The fact that when she walked out, I thought it was the sign of things to come, and I didn't realize no one would really get past her bar that she set, because she did a different take on a veil, which I thought was really cool.
yes,
And that whoever made that dress for her, it was gorgeous the way the colors melded together. Her body was looking so nice.
Yeah.
I was like, if her speech was like 20% stronger, she would have been a top for me.
Can we see the picture again, John? I want to
Sure.
talk more about more about her faux veil. I don't usually like things like this because anytime we've seen something that was similar, usually these little bands get very saggy and they're bent in and they're not. These look very solid and reinforced. We kind of kept the roundness of this, and as silly as it sounds, like it's really not. It really ruins the illusion when there's dents and shit in it.
And you can see it's been packed.
Yes, it's been packed and like unpacked and did not get enough time inside a styrofoam head to spread it back out. you know what I mean? Yeah, like this. We have to point that out too, because especially since we have this side view, there is no dent to be seen here. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
So that should just be noted. That's
And I love the gems on it too. It reminds me of in the first episode when they did the queen runway, or the reigning runway, or whatever it was, and you saw her like putting gems on her hip bodice that she had. I was like, that to me is like making sure that everything feels drag. This was such an all-stars look to me. And the hair is so cool too.
Yeah.
A+.
Yeah. And there's even something like birdie about it. In like a weird, does that make sense? Like it doesn't look like feathers, but it's like birdie.
I got it.
Like you know,
I hate that I know exactly what you're saying.
yes, like, I don't know how else to put it, but like when I
It's
look at
giving
this little poof on what is our left, her right, it just looks birdie to me.
it's giving like the middle school teacher who's described as looking like a bird. Like that's what I picture her hair looking like. Yes, giving Big Bird, but like
birdie.
couture.
You just don't
Very
want to say
birdie.
Yes, thank you, John.
Very
Call
birdie,
it,
yeah.
Call it birdie.
Big Birdie.
Just birdie. just little birdie. Speaking of
So
things
let's go.
think of things that should be said though. I don't know why John does not bring up the fact. Like, what day is today, John?
What day is today?
Lean in real close and tell Gina.
Oh, one day.
Oh no.
The spirit of Mon lives on.
James is unfamiliar with her work.
What's her single?
With her work. Mon was from Celebrity Big Brother. They had this purse, right, that doubled as a hat, right, and you had to wear Mon hat, right, and if you wore they kind of did like a hot potato kind of a thing, and if you were the one to end up with Mon hat, you got to wear the Mon hat and you were safe. But later on in the week, we removed the Mon fashion label and we flipped it around and it said Nom now. Okay. and now whoever ended up with the purse hat was now on the block. Welcome to the cheesiness and fantasticness that is BBUS.
Yes. And Carson Kressley has been a part of this, so Carson Kressley knows all about Mon.
He is very
That's the hilarious Ross Matthews
Vince
and Michelle Visage. All of them.
They all played Big Brother at one point.
Except
Michelle Visage played BB Celebrity UK.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but only Carson has intimate knowledge of Mon.
But I'm sure they discussed it off stage. Did you have
You really think it came up?
Yeah.
Of course it came up because Carson had a rough go.
That was a bad season for Carson.
There's no way it didn't come up. There's no way they didn't discuss it. Like, I don't know anything about Michelle's season, but like, there's no way they didn't discuss it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Especially since the main reason why he had a rough go was Todrick. And they all judged together. Like, there's no way it wasn't discussed. They're all together.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Totally
We
true.
should actually find Michelle's season. That should be something we cover in the off season.
Is
Is there even such thing as
I don't know why I'm asking anybody here like any of you would know if that was the Trisha Paytas season.
Trisha Paytas is the Tiffany Pollard season though.
Ooh.
We should watch that as well.
That's where she has the whole thing about the shoes.
Yes.
We can't visit anything from another country that's old until at least the fall.
Sure.
We're really booked until September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get into another look here, right?
John said, "I've had enough."
Wow. Sure, John.
No, well, just
I'm teasing.
here's the Vivian, right?
Gina, what did you think of this look? Oh.
I don't know. Like it didn't do anything for me.
Okay. John.
I want to hear what you think.
Oh my God, John, thank you so much for asking. I said previously on this podcast, I'm a little over bondage unless you go all the way. What I will say is that this went more all the way, that I was more into it. I think it did serve an interesting look. I liked the idea of the veil being part of the bondage to this, like being that restricted piece.
Yes.
That being said,
That's smart. I did appreciate
like
that.
it's all very cool conceptually. My one issue that I thought of personally, and the other issue that I took from Bob the Drag Queen, which I'll say that one first, she should have hopped down the runway. Go full force with it. If you're gonna do bondage, fucking hop. But my thing that I thought when I saw it was, it would be so much cooler and a statement if you made it all white. If you made this a wedding gown and it was like the bondage of marriage and it had like a bigger piece to it, because it feels very wedding-y to me.
It does, like the especially at the bottom of the dress and the
Yup.
train and everything. It looks very bridal.
Yeah.
So I wish it was white. Though the color is cool and it looks great with the hair that she matched it with. I was like, but what if it was white?
Okay.
That's my
Yeah.
thoughts.
Okay. Yeah. I agree. I agree. If this was white, I would like this more. I did not have the problems with it that you all did. I thought this was really, really great. I mean, obviously it spoke to me. But like the hopping, I don't know about the hopping. Like maybe come out hopping, but like that's very exhausting. Like to go all the way down.
Could you
and
imagine
then-
hopping down an entire runway?
Oh yeah, because having
no.
a ball gag in your mouth isn't exhausting. her freaking, she's gonna have lockjaw by the end of
But
that
that's the
thing.
exact issue. So you expect her to have a ball gag, actually gotta hop. I mean, like, what is all this? This is supposed to be a look. It's not a performance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Enough. Like that's a lot. That's a lot to expect.
I like the look though here. I like the color. It reminds me of like an Ariel in bondage.
Yes, and
Okay.
I like the commitment to hands behind. Like, there's
Yep.
your performance. There's your performance.
Yeah.
It would have been cool if they were in front with a bouquet.
You're really sold on bridal.
I am.
You're
I don't
really
know.
sold on bridal. I guess yes. If you were doing it tied in front with flowers or some kind of a bouquet,
I would have
like,
lost my mind.
then fine. But like otherwise, if you're not doing white, then this was the way to do it.
Yeah.
Because it's not really a restraint if it's in the front.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm. Correct.
Sorry,
Correct.
sorry, too much control.
Correct. We're all experts in something.
That's for Jury
So-
Duty After Dark.
What about this one? Trinity? This veil was pretty wild.
I'm happy that this whole train thing came up because I'm done with it now.
Thank God.
See, I liked this one though.
No, listen, I like them all, but it's like I just want to see something different.
This is where I think, and I wonder. So, John, you had mentioned like Evie kind of turning a corner, and I just wonder, in the same respect that it happened to be that these weeks in a row we've seen all of Trinity's train looks, which is why it's so exhausting to us. I'm wondering if in Evie's side of things, have we seen Evie's weaker looks, and then we've turned a corner into her stronger looks, which is great for her because it's great for an arc. But I agree, the train is exhausting. That being said, this is the train. If I had to eliminate every other train that she's had, this is the one that I keep.
Well, now
This
hold
is
on. Whatever that train was in that purpley blue velvety thing.
Pretty.
No,
that
stop.
that right there is stunning.
It was all this velvet, all this regality.
Mm.
Okay, we cannot cancel that train.
I'm not canceling. Listen, I liked every single
No,
train
you
she did.
canceled.
I
it.
liked
You canceled it. You,
I did
you
not
said.
cancel.
You said.
I said
if
I
this was the
had
only
to.
train, right?
If it was,
That's a free
again.
cancellation.
Yes, because I had something better. It's not saying I want to cancel it. Yes, Baby Spice is my favorite Spice Girl. I don't want to throw out the rest of them, but if I had to pick one, it would be Baby. Okay.
Wow. Wow.
Makes you think.
I don't know if it makes me think. I have mixed feelings on that statement as well.
You know what? Let's get into it. No.
No, there's not really much to say. The only other one that I would put up in contention with Baby is Scary.
What a great! I love her. I love Jerry. Her Union Jack iconic. She's done so much. She broke up the group, and that's why she goes back down. And Posh is the one who won't come back to the group. Also, she gets down. But the Melanies and Emma.
Listen, I really wish the Melanies and Emma would just do something together. We honestly, at the end of the day, we don't
Some
need
Spice Girls.
We don't need Jerry, and we don't need Victoria.
Like Spice.
Sorry.
Ow.
Anyway, I know, another tangent. Sorry. You bring up the Spice Girls, I could talk all day. Spice Girls are like Big Brother for me, honestly.
It's my queer
no.
fixation that I didn't get enough time to focus on when I was in the closet, because I was in the closet. So
and
now
also, you were younger then. Like Spice Girls were a little bit pre you.
My sister's 5 years older than me, and I wanted so badly to be liked by her. So
That's
I have a
interesting.
Spice Girl stories for you for later, off air. It's great. It's also
My mom was
devastating.
a different lady then, and she did not like me listening to any singers that were not black. Right, but the
That's
Spice Girls
interesting.
snuck in because of Scary Spice. So she was like, "That's okay." I was like, "Oh my god, I love these white girls." But anyway. So episode 5. Are there any more looks that we want to discuss from 5?
Well, I know we just brought up Evie, so I wanted to just show Evie's look.
You got Evie?
Quick.
Let
So,
me see Evie.
yeah, so I got Evie here. I wish it was better quality, but
I don't like this.
Oh, see,
you
I
don't
think
like
it's
this at all?
cool.
I think it's cool too, and it's very different to me than anything else that Evie has done so far on the season.
Really.
All
right.
Yeah,
and
I
that's
just
fine.
like the headpiece. I like the colors. I like the colors of her, her jacket, like the gown that she's wearing too, and everything.
It's a totally different color palette from her. I think this
Right.
to me feels very classic Evie, like in terms of like the veil is just a little off and but like the color palette is very new for her. I like the blues against her skin, like that. Is that turquoise?
Mhm.
Thank
Yeah.
you. That looks very pretty. I think overall this was a very pretty look, but this, like, to me, this is like a 35 out of 50, and her speech was like a 30 out of 50. So ultimately, she doesn't make the top.
Jeez,
She
you're
passes.
being very giving. I did enjoy the blues. I like that version of a veil. I thought that very fun and inventive, but like everything else felt very much like it's just like
I think it just
a cut
caught.
up throw
I think-
rug or some curtains.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just didn't really like do it for me.
In the Untucked, so just because I have time to kill, so I watch it. But in the Untucked, she mentions that this is inspired by, I think she says either her mother or her grandmother, I can't remember, who is from New Mexico and had a lot of those patterns. And I think understanding a little bit more of the inspiration behind it, it's like, oh, it kind of falls in line with that. But to your point, regardless of inspiration, you don't like it, and that's fair. I think it's not amazing. I just think it's pretty. I'll give it's pretty.
Yeah.
Listen, to have an explanation explained is always good. Like it's good that resonates with you. But at the same time, that there are people like me that don't always watch Untucked, and I should not need an explanation.
Right.
like, for
If
what you're
it needs to
presenting.
be explained so intricately for you to appreciate it, it's missing the mark.
Yeah.
Coming.
Yes.
My grandma's from New Mexico, and this feels like that. It's not intricate,
You
but
know-
I do know what you say. Like, if you need that context, then it's not. It's fine that it doesn't resonate. I just think having that, I thought it was fine. To John's point, I thought it was something new for her in the sense of like that veil look and the color palette was new for her.
Yeah.
But hearing that piece, I was like, oh, another level. I'm coming.
Yeah, and that's nice. But if I need that level to now rate you among the rest of them, where I didn't need that with everyone else, it does set you below. Yeah.
Like Shay's, you got grandmother. You saw it and you said, that's
right.
Yeah.
Right out of the gate,
Here,
I knew exactly what was going on. I didn't need it. I didn't look at any of these when they were set. I just put them up. No, put it back up. We can still talk about it. It's still something. I mean, the problem with this picture is that it's giving me beekeeper, but that's not how it resonated.
No, it does 1,000%.
Yes, and that's what I laughed at. But that is not how it resonated.
Which also, like, I'm here for that too. Like,
that would be such a cool veiled look.
Yeah.
No, I would be cool for it too, but like that does not give this justice because that's not how it resonated on TV. But that's
Agreed.
why I laughed because it definitely is screaming beekeeper. to me.
1,000% this is a beekeeper.
This was one of my favorite looks on the show, though. This was
It
one of my
was one
favorite
of the
looks.
looks on the show until we
Yeah,
put
it's a
that-
really strong one. Listen, even if it's beekeeper, it's still a solid look.
Grandma beekeeps. She likes honey,
Yeah.
honey.
Grandma beekeep. Oh, that's so stupid.
But the
that's
one that
good.
I
That's
really, really
fun.
loved this because I loved the illusion behind it was Jinx's. Jinx I thought was really cool. Yes, it was kind of
We have
basic and
Jesus somewhere.
I think, yeah.
This
And
one.
what's unfortunate about it is this way it looks amazing. When you turned, I think because on TV you could see through it a little bit more, so you could see the illusion, which was upsetting.
Yeah.
But otherwise, what a cool look.
Yeah.
I was so into it.
I love
The
love the
flowers in the
lavender.
shoulder.
all the
Right.
lavender. I love it all. I love it all.
To me, I was like, yeah, she's definitely in the top this week. Don't need to worry. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of gave me Jan vibes.
the purple,
Yeah.
which I'm fine with. I'm a slut for purple.
You already
I
know
know.
it for me. You already know it for me. I mean, that was really the reason why Jan became my favorite.
That's fair.
Then I had a crush. First it was Purple, then
And the crush.
Yeah.
Purple was gateway.
Yeah. Purple is what opened the door to the love.
Of course, of course.
Yeah. Purple
Yeah.
is all the way to my heart. Yeah.
And then we have the top 2 of this week, which was
it was Jinx and Raja. So they each
Yes,
get a star
awesome.
for themselves
Mhm.
and a star for somebody else. And my first thought was, can they just give the extra stars to each other? And then
Very
I
that.
thought of that too.
Yeah. And then it was just clarified that it like no, like
They do not clarify. They don't say anything. The only thing that you clearly hear that Miss Paul forgot to say during the recording of it is like, and then you'll get a second legendary legend star that you can give away next week. I was like, that next week was not said live.
And I don't remember I don't remember which episode, if it was 5 or 6, but they did eventually make a comment like, "Oh, you have an extra star that you can give away to, there's 6 eligible people." So that was where I like figured out, okay, oh, if you were one of the people that won the star, like you can't get it, so you couldn't give it to the other person. But,
so John, who do you give your extra star to?
I mean, Evie was the easy choice for me because after Raja gets her first star here, Evie's the only one with that one. So if you want to keep, the numbers down, you got to give it to whoever has the least, and that was Evie.
Yeah, that made good sense.
Yeah. Makes good sense. Okay, so with Evie out of the running, though, Kyle, who's the person you give your second star to?
Probably Jada.
I know. And here's the thing about what they picked.
And I hate my
like
reason.
It's such a nice thing. What's your reason?
It's going to be exactly what you were about to say, because you just said, oh, it seems like such a nice thing. We're about to go down the same path. We're in the same car. The reason why is because I feel like out of the girls that are there, unfortunately, she has the least chance of getting another star on her own. I'm so sorry.
Never
You're like very upset.
The truth.
I know, because I am upset, because Jada, I really like Jada.
Yeah,
if you
me
watch
too.
her season, especially if you saw her grind, because her win was so different from everyone else's. Like, she had to do her final lip sync from home because COVID hit. Like, she was that. All these reality shows that we watch, they all had that moment that something changed so drastically because of the pandemic. And Jada was that one for this world. And I respect that so much. That was such completely uncharted territory. It had to be such a scary thing, not knowing how this is going to come out. You don't have the support of people cheering you on. Like, what a difficult thing to have to go into. So I don't want to like say anything bad about her, because she really against all odds, like it was a really, really cool win to watch happen, like in real time, because that's also something that we don't really get to experience on Drag Race. Like, we don't really get to see. We know the finale is filmed later, but like we don't really get to see any effect of that. This was the first time we got to see a real life effect in a season, and she fucking like crushed it. Like, she didn't just eke her way through. Like, she really was like, there was. Well, Gigi was fantastic too.
Is where it gets really hard. Where you have to.
It does get really hard, but it just made so much sense to give it to Jada. Like, it really, really did. And like, when you see that, to now be sitting here and saying like, she's the one least likely to get another star, like that really hurts my heart.
It's true.
That's all.
Also,
that's all.
Jada she also had the season with Miss Sherry, whose last name I won't say for fear that we will be, I don't know,
canceled,
doxed.
Doxed.
But so she rough season all around for her. So I agree, but it like seems like this very nice thing that you're giving them the stars, and I'm sure like in that moment it feels it feels nice, but I think ultimately it's kind of a shady thing, because ultimately what you're saying is you're the person least likely to be a threat to me later.
Right.
Because as John mentioned, once you give it to Evie, you level the playing field, where it's like your first star no longer matters. So now it's only 2 and up. And so it's like, okay, who am I giving 2 stars to that's not going to get a 3rd star? And that's Evie. Evie's the one who sorry, Jada, because Jada shows the least promise right now. And again, we've hit her strongest suit is design. That is where she like thrives. We've passed that.
It's already over. Yeah, it already happened. I think so little of you that I'm just gonna give you a star.
Oh, I thought you were saying to me directly. I got so mentioned. I was like, that's tough feedback.
No, but it had to be delivered that way for it to get the full effect. You know, I couldn't tell you that was coming. I had to just hit you with it. And that's how much it stings. And
I felt the anxiety build up of like, Kyle hates me.
that is the build up for Miss Jada. And that's why I feel guilty saying something like that, because that's not where I want to put her. That's all. I just don't want her there.
Yeah. And also, this is the second time Jinx has gotten fucked over. First time by Jada, who does the xylophone move for the Vivian to cling, cling, cling her way to $10,000. And then
cling, cling, cling.
Raja gets the get out of jail free card of like, I'm going to give the star to Evie. So that way we're all on a level playing field and my sister deserves a star. So she gets the congenial thing. Yes. And then Jinx has to, literally fucked again, has to sit there and give out the shady star. But also, as a front runner, she deserves it.
Yeah,
she does.
Was there any? Because my initial thought about Jinx's extra star was that it might go to Trinity for the help that Trinity gave to Jinx in that other competition.
Super fair.
Yeah. And I wonder if that was.
You think people are playing sweet?
That's
no.
Nice.
No, well, you know, just because like I feel like that could have been an easy, like if you don't want to put a target on like, oh, why didn't I get Jinx's star? You could say, well, Trinity basically helped me put this whole dress together for my runway look. So like, you know, like
I hear you, and I would be about that if that was any other queen but Jinx. Jinx came into this knowing that she's like, I'm not giving.
Jinx or Monet. Jinx and Monet are like, we're here to play.
Exactly. They came in so game-minded. I don't think there's any honor here. And I think that this is going to get even more interesting like as we go on, because like we're going to see a whole lot more of that as like we get to the pointy end.
Well, I will say too, because before we get like too deep into episode 6, we should also mention like at the beginning of episode 5, we heard the Vivian just volunteering this information that she was considering blocking Jinx if she could, you know, if the opportunity was there. But then, of course, Jinx ended up being in the top 2, winning the lip sync to get the 10 grand, and then chose to block the Vivian. So we see the episode opening with the Vivian talking about how she would have blocked Jinx if the opportunity was there. And then now we go to Jinx blocks the Vivian.
A producer's dream of like, full circle moment. Also, wait.
You guys just did it all for us.
Okay, but hold on. One thing I lightly skipped over, I shouldn't have. So... Jinx and Raja lip sync to Better in Color by Lizzo, which I will be honest, that is a song that I play in my car frequently. My steering wheel has heard amazing renditions. Performances have been given on the 495 that people should have thrown dollar bills at me for. They were terrible. They were so bad. Both Jinx and Raja, I was like, stop this. Stop it now.
It was hard.
Do you think some of that is them not really wanting, like, okay, I got my star, that's good enough for me, and because, like, you know, do you always want to be the person that's blocking somebody?
It's,
you know, because then no, I get that, but like, if you're always the person,
but I'm playing for 200. I didn't come here for 10.
Exactly.
I didn't come here for nobody's dimes.
Yeah. Like, I don't care. I might. Like if I win 30-40 grand from these lip syncs, great. But like if I keep blocking people, then everybody's gonna come blocking me because I've been blocking everyone.
Perhaps, and maybe that's why Raja didn't do that well. I think Jinx knows she's the front runner, and if I were Jinx, you know what sounds better than $200,000? $220,000. It's just more. It's just more.
More sounds sweeter. I don't.
And and if you stay in the top, you can't get blocked. You know what I mean? And I think Jinx kind of thinks she's falling in that line. Anyways, I just thought it was, as a person who has sang that song, I was like, 2 things are very clear. 1, this song is not in their rep. 2, this song will not be in their rep. This is not it for them.
No.
Anyways, now we can go into episode 6.
Oh man, I enjoyed this one. The Total RuQuest live theme. I thought this was fun.
This was fun.
At first I said, how can they say TRL on this? That's crazy that they are getting away with saying, I was like, oh, maybe because they say RuQuest. And then I remembered that Paramount owns Viacom, which is MTV. And I said,
Yeah, they're
It's
really
all
doubling
together.
down on their competition reality TV. You do realize that, right? Like they're really committing to this. CBS, Viacom, Paramount, they're really fucking into this. How about All Star Shore? That's coming.
I saw that.
I know. Aren't you nervous? I'm watching.
I'm stressed.
Watching.
I don't know if I
tuning
can
in.
handle it.
I'm tuning in. I don't know if we'll cover it, but I'm tuning in. Vanjie's going to be on it, James. Yeah. And Angelina from Jersey Shore. It is like just all these like just random like reality TV people in a house playing like beach, like party themed, like field day type games for money.
2 things. 1, who pitched that? Who said, hey guys, I have a great idea? And then it got greenlit, which is crazy. But 2, how do I do that? That sounds like a fun way to spend a summer. I would love to play these games. I would love to have a time.
Looking at
I
them,
saw Angelina and I said, not this.
I saw Angelina and I said,
Not
what's this? and then they said Vanjie's gonna be in there too. I was like, sign me up. I'm watching. It's just gonna just arrive on our app for free.
Arrive.
I'm just going to just
on our
what am I
app
supposed to
for free.
do? I'm going to just roll over and
Not
act like
watch it?
I didn't see that there. Like just go about my business. Like no, other people are watching and I'm not. No, I have to watch. So
Also, Vanjie's very booked and blessed because Vanjie also has that like looking for love on Wow Presents.
oh really?
Yeah.
Good for Vanjie. Good for
Good for her.
Vanjie. Yeah.
Miss
yeah.
Vanjie.
Miss Vanjie.
Miss
Listen, when she was eliminated that way,
Vanjie.
I never thought we'd be seeing this much of her.
But
I
thank
was like,
God.
who the hell is this bitch? Get the hell out of here.
She was
But
like,
then the
say my
way
name.
that-
Say my name.
Right, the way that Rue and Michelle laughed at her exit, though, I rewound that countless times. You know, that is such a fucking like classic like drag race moment. And I
Yup.
just love that she's getting the shine she deserves.
I agree.
Don's like, who the hell is this? I'll send you it. I'll send you.
Yeah,
a
I
clip.
need to be brought up to speed. You know.
Yeah, you do need to. Yeah. She's fun. She's a hoot and a half. Yeah.
No.
So All Star Shore, that's coming to us June 29th.
Oh, I'm sure I'll check it out. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to watch that whole season.
It could
I'll check
actually
it
be
out,
fun if you just watch it and hate it, and then you can just like talk about how much I like it, and then you can just making fun of me the whole time. I'd be fine with that too. Anyway, episode 6. Tell us
episode
things.
6. All right,
Tell
so
us
episode
things.
6. Obviously, Jinx and Raja were just the top 2, so we got to find out pretty quickly who they gave their stars to, and we already kind of said that Evie was 1. That's who Raja gave her star to, and then Jinx gave her star to Jada.
Shady Star.
The Shady Star, yeah. I really like the episodes where they have to work in teams for these maxi challenges. So it was like a Y2K, girl group fantasy on a flashback episode of MTV's TRL. And I really
loved this challenge.
This totally made up for that Drag You crap.
This was such a good one.
I actually Googled, I'm like, is Drag You coming back because of this? Was this like a cheap way of promoting like a fan show?
Do not be surprised if in the next 2 years it's been
Stop.
mentioned too many times.
No!
with Secret Celebrity Drag Race and
Secret Celebrity should come back.
and this it's coming back 100%.
No. John's like, no. Can we stay on target here?
So we have the two girl groups. We have the Vivian, who is a little peeved about
Oh yeah, but with how the teams were formed.
Yeah, she didn't like it. She didn't like it.
Now, why do you think, Kyle, she didn't like it? Because you're a Vivian supporter. You said you liked her in this episode. Why do you think she didn't like it?
I think she didn't like it because It was wrong. No, I don't think she liked. Listen, unfortunately, I wasn't totally paying attention to the very moment. I don't know what the matchup was because I was trying to set up things for the stream tonight. I was watching it like in the background, but just knowing what I know of the Vivian, she was very, very much a leader and a front runner in her season, kind of in charge of things. People didn't do much without checking with the Viv first. And even if they did, they would still check with her. And if she said no good, guess what? It was reneged. So like the Vivian was always used to being in like a power situation. And here in this, she most certainly is not. And I think she's objecting. And I think that she needs to because I think it's affecting more than just her playing game. It's affecting the game directly, but I think it's also affecting her just her confidence in general. And it's making her not assert herself the same way. And we're not getting the Vivian that I thought we were going to get, that I felt like we were going to get from what we saw in the UK. So I think she's starting to get frustrated with like, I'm putting myself aside because I'm trying to be like this nice girl, but like, I really shouldn't be.
So I agree. I think we've talked about it before. We're seeing like a very different Viv who's like a little more reserved. She's not saying as much, and like we're watching a shell kind of open through it. And this is the first time we've seen her be a little more assertive on it. However, I think for two reasons she didn't want to be on this team. Reason number one, she did not want to be next to Jinx. They are the same queen, and in an arms race, Jinx is winning not because she's better, but Ru likes her more. 100%. Second thing, I think she thought she was on a losing team. And she went back to her previous drag race experience in which people get eliminated. If you're on the last team, you're up for elimination. She went through all of that. And she was like, I don't want to be on this team because this is the team that's losing. Because you want to be on the team that has the choreographers, which is Shay, which is Monet. So she wanted to put herself in there too. So I think she was like, let me get out of here. And then as she thought on it more, she was like, oh, wait, I don't leave. I'm not getting out. And
this is my chance to shine.
This is my chance to shine. And let me play a better social game. And I think it works in her favor.
I would agree with all that, actually, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What I also think is interesting on this season is because you're working with all winners, you have people who really know what they're doing at all times. So the first thing the girls start doing once they define the groups is what's our background? What's our story? And I think that's so important because not that it came into play, it didn't. It didn't come into play. They didn't talk about it when they got interviewed by demon version of fucking the hilarious Ross Matthews as what's his name? Carson Daly?
Carson Gailey.
Carson Gailey, that was it.
I'm so happy I saw that on Instagram first. Because if I would have seen that like just because like I would have really been disturbed.
Like, what am I looking at right now?
Exactly. I'm so glad I saw that ahead of time.
Super fair. But you see this whole background work, which I think really enhances all the characters, gives everyone a really clear point of view. So to me, when I was watching it, I was like, from that alone, you know that these are going to be two very strong performances because they have a specific point of view. I thought it was so smart.
So it was really funny. So there were two different songs, and they both groups had to kind of figure out which song the other group was going to do. And so it was Together Forever, right, was one. And that was Jinx, Evie, Jada, the Vivian, and I like that their whole thing was like girls that have been kicked out of other girls that have been kicked out of other girl groups. And then the other song was Titanic, and that was Raja, Monet, Shay, and Trinity. And I liked how their name came from like their first initials, like Mr. And then even like the added thing, and like we used to be Mystery until Evie left the group.
Obsessed. However, not obsessed with the producer who put the graphic of Mr. together of like they did like everyone like a split screen on it, which was very Spice Girls. Sorry to say a trigger word, but they didn't put it in the MSTR order. I was like, come on, producers, it's right there. No, they just put them up there. I was like, come on.
All you have to do is drag and drop.
Truly, it made me irrationally angry. But yeah, I thought that was very funny. I also thought, here's a question that I have. Educate me. They were talking about So a show I love, maybe you guys love it too, Bob's Burgers. It's one that I watch all the time, and they have the boy band group Boys for Now, hysterical, and their running joke in it is one of the members of that is very, very old. He's an old person. They joke about how old he is. And then Jinx says, well, you know how every group needs that one old person, so I'll be the old person. However, in the girl groups that I'm reflecting on, or in like groups in general, I can't think of like a common thread of commonly old people. Like Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Destiny's Child, Spice Girls, Eden's Crush. I don't see like substantially older, like one older person in that. Or am I wrong? Because I was also a kid when I really watched them all.
Falsas. Now, as a child, I would have found Howie to be the old one in Backstreet Boys. I would have assumed that Chris was the old one in Sync.
Okay.
Jerry Ginger was absolutely the old one in Spice Girls.
But you thought she looked that way too?
In
Well, I know-
comparison,
Oh, interesting.
I don't
didn't
think
get
by
that.
herself she did. I think looking at her like next
Okay,
to others,
comparatively.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
she was the old
interesting.
one.
Never
What were
thought
the other
about
groups you named?
Yeah, there's always one
Eden's
that kind of
Crush,
feels like,
Destiny's.
why are you here? Like, not like,
Fair.
why are you here? But like, one of these things is not like the other, you know?
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
That's the one. That's the person of the group that gets made fun of. Like,
Yeah. Like the odd one out is usually like the older one. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. Sorry to say.
No, that's fine. I'm happy to be
No.
wrong because also when I was watching them obsessively was when I was too young to like really think about like age like that. It didn't like cross my mind, and I like secretly watched all of them because I was very in the closet, and watching Boys was terrible, and watching Spice Girls was very confusing.
Well, see, and I don't also think that back then I necessarily thought of them as like super. I mean, I thought they were the older ones, but like now they were older now. It's like
Yeah.
they actually weren't that old. Like they really
Yeah.
Right. It's not like one of them was 40, you know?
Right,
Like-
right.
Like, here's the thing. I don't want to be shady. Never mind.
Oh.
I was going to be shady to a community that we are all part of, and maybe I shouldn't be.
This is jury duty.
Yeah.
What we do is judge. It's the reason.
Well, I was going to say we all have a background in Long Island theater where we see
Mhm.
way more inappropriate pairings all the time.
Well, yes. Oh, absolutely. That could be a whole.
That's the
another-
second time this podcast that you've done the buzzer, and I don't know how to feel about it.
I mean, that's honestly that's another thing for jury duty after dark. There's a lot of other things to get into.
We'll get into
Oh
it.
God.
Any Hoosers. Episode 6
Well,
still.
So let's put up. I have pictures of the groups themselves.
This
Okay.
This was the This was the Together
I-
Forever group.
I was living for like the story arc of like there's the one like industry plant cyborg, not real person, short circuiting
stupid.
because they're trying to like oh my god, it was so dumb and it was so funny.
She did
Yeah.
it really great. I agree. Here, my hot take across the board. Evie, I thought it was really fun, a really unique thing. It could not work, and it worked great. The Vivian was fine. I didn't think I loved her as much as everyone else did, and I'm really tired of seeing her nipples through all of her outfits. It's making me irrationally angry. Jinx, I didn't love this episode. The lyrics were kind of funny. The outfit I didn't totally get. Jada really got me laughing, but I thought it was really bold to make poop jokes after watching Rock and Sakura on her season get eliminated for all the poop jokes she made. I was like, that's a bold thing to do because Jada doesn't have the benefit of seeing last season, which made a whole bunch of like fart jokes in one episode. So I was like, that's a really bold undertaking. It worked out in her favor, but like I thought that was anyways, that's my straight thoughts.
Okay. I like Jada's outfit. I had another picture that I never put up, but I liked all the purple. I thought Jada looked good. as
Jada's
part
was
of
my
the-
favorite.
Oh
Yeah.
no, mine was in the other group.
Oh well, I'm talking
Yeah.
about
In-
I'll
in this
throw
group,
up
Jada.
here.
My favorite
This group
look,
is everything.
Monet's look is so perfect.
Mhm.
I lost my mind when I saw it. I said, thank you.
Yeah.
I said, I feel
I'm
like Kyle Petty.
So happy to hear that. I'm so happy to hear that, especially because for the first time in all episodes, this was not my favorite. I
My
loved it. I
God.
loved it. It was my number. It's my number two. It's my number two. But my favorite of these girl group looks came from none other than the Lady Kool-Aid.
Yeah, that's
Hey.
it. She's number 2 for me, so I totally get it.
Thighs in those pants. Let me tell you something. I'm still salivating. There's a puddle on the carpet, soaking wet. It was just so yummy, and the hair was so perfectly. And Michelle made a comment of it.
Yep.
That there's that burgundy pop in the front. I mean, it was just so perfectly of its time.
Yeah.
Honestly, the best of the girl group look. However, the very closest number 3 came from Raja. Very of its time. Too. The hair, the looseness of our top, the way we bopped around. I'm just very, very much of the time as well. Like this group really nailed it. Really knocked it out of the park for me.
I just truly, I hated Trinity's verse so much. I thought it was the only verse that like did not understand the assignment of like, no, we are in the 2000s. She was talking it like we were past the 2000s. Well, it was weird because she was like talking about Justin. Like I didn't like it. It felt like it belonged in the All Stars 5 girl group one, which was the like love one. Like I'm in love with. It's the one that Shay won with, which she should have because that was great. But it felt like it was very that.
How'd it go again?
I'm in love with you.
Now casting.
But one thing that I thought was very funny, I don't know, I watch everything with captions. Do any of you?
Sometimes.
I don't, not reality shows. I feel like it's an interruption.
Fair. I watched this one.
Shows, yeah.
And one that Monet had a really funny line about T9 word, which really made me laugh, but the captions did not understand what T9 word was, so they just keep saying the word. And I was like, what a period thing to bring up that even the captions are like, I don't know
what that means. I'll watch it back with captions just so I can see it.
It was very funny. But all over, so it seems like, Kyle, it seems like your team Mr. for who won the girl group challenge.
Oh yeah. For me, yes. I mean, I
agree.
Clearly.
I agree.
I feel like there was no contest.
Killed it.
Yeah.
Personal feeling, John. How do you feel?
I actually would agree. I think overall the girl group that I liked the best was Mystery, which honestly is very interesting when you consider how this episode ended.
Well, okay, so I
don't know how it ended. I had to get ready for this.
Amazing. That's amazing. While I thought they gave you the best looks and the best verses, minus Trinity's, I think that I really enjoyed the other girls' choreography. Their choreography for some reason felt more authentically girl groupy because it was like that soft choreo. Like it wasn't crazy. It was like 2, bam, out, 4, bam, out, which is like, give me stop right now. Thank you very much. I need somebody with a human touch.
Right. And that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, because so that's the Together Forever group you feel that about, right?
Yes.
And what's interesting to me about that is because we've kind of spoken about Jada tonight and how her strengths have kind of like already been featured, right? But I think for their group, it seemed like to me like Jada was really taking the lead with a lot of their choreography. Whereas in Mr., some of the other queens that we've mentioned as being strong with choreography, like Monet and Shay, they were in that group, but we kind of, I don't know how Kyle feels, but it's in terms of the choreography, but like that's interesting to me that,
No, that's how I agree. The choreography for Mr. wasn't bad. It was complicated, as it should be. They have a bunch of dancers. Well, they have mostly dancers on it. I just thought that the cleanness of the other girls
wasn't that more quintessential 90s
exactly
band.
Like
so like kind of simple was better in this case, possibly when you have limited time to rehearse and
I agree. I agree with that.
Very interesting.
And then we go to the runway. Take it to the runway.
Yeah, a night of 1,000 Dolly Partons.
Phenomenal runway. I'm surprised this is the first time this is one that's come up. I don't think Kyle. Can you remember another Dolly runway? No,
No.
right?
Other people
Cool
have
runway.
done Dolly, but not as a complete theme. Yeah.
Yeah.
Super
I
smart.
enjoyed this. I really, really enjoyed these looks too. So
I love
Monet
these.
is, yeah,
This was fantastic. This is very, very fun to me. I love the
Mhm.
belt.
Right?
I love anything with a belt. Just really brings everything in. Just really, really nice. I mean, this was fun. This is exactly what I expect from her, though. Exactly. what I
No
expect.
notes.
Mhm.
No
no,
notes
no,
on
no
this.
notes at all. Just perfect.
Gorgeously a drag version of Dolly, which is hard to do.
Yeah.
Unreal.
I loved it.
Really, really nice.
Mm-hmm.
The next one that I have here, I'm not really going in like order.
You can't go in
Raja.
order. You see what I mean? Because there's no names.
Yeah.
You can't. The thumbnails
Yeah.
are too small. Yeah. This is Raja.
This is the one that I thought Gina would love. Gina, do you want to share the story of why I thought you would love this?
I'm obsessed with that video of Dolly and
Patti LaBelle.
Patti LaBelle playing their nails on the talk. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
She's talking about how she has like acrylic nails on, and she's like, "Oh, I can even like play a song on them." So they start like doing beat, like they each like give a beat on their acrylic nails and start like singing along to it, and then, like she's like, "Play it, Patty," and Patty's doing like a solo on her nails.
I guess that's what this is referencing here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Can you leave a clip for it in the comments so our fans can
I will.
watch it too? Yeah.
James literally came into my room and he was like, "There's a moment on this week's Drag Race that is for you," and I was like, "Okay."
It was. I stand by the statement.
Yeah,
All
fun.
over.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Mm-hmm.
All over. I think the look for this is great. The hair is so large,
Everything.
so in charge.
Yeah.
I don't love the makeup, but I think that's just me. I think I just don't love Dolly's makeup in general. But
I like Dolly's makeup. I think that this is a lot of white to be going this light with the makeup, and I think that's the issue. If we were wearing something a little darker, I think this might have popped a little.
Yeah,
bit
she's
better.
like washed out.
yeah,
and I wonder if that's also just a product of the stage lights too.
Yeah, sure,
Like,
sure.
Yeah, that's all. Like, I don't know that that's her fault.
Because there is a lot of flashback from like her under eye baking and stuff happening.
Also,
I don't want to rip her for it.
I also wonder, I get caught in these like Night of the Thousands because is your job to impersonate Am I supposed to be judging it on a Snatch Game type level where are you supposed to paint like Dolly or are you supposed to paint like you? So, and for me, this feels like Raja's Dolly instead of Dolly, and maybe I'm just looking for more Dolly.
I'm happy you actually brought that up because not necessarily even in reference to this, but I was really starting to get very exasperated, exhausted, drained by like everybody coming down with their chattering teeth and their arms bopping from side to side. I was like, enough now, enough. I just want you to just walk down the fucking runway. You know what I mean? Like enough now. I don't know. I didn't need all that. Just a side comment.
No, I get it. But
I was getting tired of the mouth. I was getting tired of everything. But everything about this is still great. I still like this. I didn't get the hand thing, but
it also took me forever to realize that she had the jacket on too, because I thought she missed the jacket, and I was like, that's a weird thing to miss. But due to TV, you just couldn't see it. It's like a really short crop. It's like mid nipple jacket.
Right.
Just bold.
Right. This one was a good one.
This was good.
Oh, judging by the face that James is making, I don't know if we all agree on that one.
You didn't like it,
Vivian.
Huh?
This was the Vivian.
What didn't you like? I thought the makeup was really good.
Yeah.
From the neck down, I love it. The face is fine. We'll take it. I cannot articulate how much I hate this hair. And it was called out how good it was. And I was like, maybe I'm missing it then. And I'm happy to be wrong. I am not a Dolly aficionado and I'm not a drag aficionado. But in my head, Dolly has big hair. This was so flat. This was so, with how big her boobs are, with how just broad the Vivian is in this. I'm like, you need big hair. It made me irrationally angry. The paint was fine. The hair,
no, I thought the hair was pretty on, like not for this side by side thing. When you're looking at it,
no,
the hair is not big enough. But I did feel that this hair was kind of Dolly-ish because just sometimes it does look like it's not always big.
And even if it didn't go big up top, I would have been fine if it went big in the back or it bellowed behind her a little bit, like it just took up more space. I don't think of Dolly and think of something that is just around the head big and then comes down slim. That's the only thing that when everyone was going off on it, I was like, I don't agree, but I'm happy to be wrong.
Huh.
Otherwise, it was really pretty.
Yeah, that didn't phase me at all. I kind of like this one. Yeah. All right.
I loved like the
It's your
silhouette
opinion.
of it.
Yeah, it's my opinion. That's my opinion.
It's your opinion.
Yeah.
That harkens back to what, that 2 weeks ago with John?
Sure was.
Yeah.
Sure was.
No, it's just my opinion. Like, okay,
opinion.
nobody said you couldn't have one. That's why you're here. We
is.
want to know what it is.
That's not how it sounded.
We didn't want to stifle
Speak
you.
on it, I guess.
It's exactly how you sound. Even Gina made a face. Get out of here.
My
We'll go back to the
goodness.
archives. We'll pull it up.
Roll the clip.
My goodness.
I loved this.
I love
Yeah,
it.
me too.
Yeah.
I just like everything about like the shape of it. It flattered her body so well. I loved it.
Yeah, me too. I have
If
no
Jada's
notes.
gonna do one thing on the runway, it's show up and show out.
And boy, did she ever.
Did
Yeah.
she ever? Even the drag jewelry.
Yeah, I thought this was great. I loved it.
This might have been my favorite Dolly.
That's
Yeah.
fair. That's super fair. I think it probably
Absolutely.
is mine too.
Although there's
Oh,
there's another one coming up that
Well, I mean, I listen again. I was watching this in the background. I want to cycle
Fair.
through all these before I say what my favorite was because I'm not as well versed with episode 6. So if John can keep cycling through for us, let's see what else we have going on.
Let's see. We've
So
got
let's see.
Evie.
It was a choice.
And a hush falls over the room.
I think it was a perfect interpretation for Evie of this. I think it's the closest that Evie's ever going to get to looking like Dolly because she's not a person who tries to look like Dolly in her drag queen.
She's not a person who tries to look like anyone.
Anyone ever. So it was nice to see her really commit to it because if we remember her Vanna White realness, which was giving Little Mermaid on crack cocaine.
Which is giving no realness for Vanna White.
So this, I really enjoyed that she went closer to it. And again, her paint I thought was good. And the hair, big. So she's already doing better than Viv.
I enjoyed the makeup and I enjoyed the thigh gap.
Yes, quite the gap.
Yeah. You know, I'm a sucker for thigh gap.
She was gaping. Okay,
Yep.
sorry.
I like this look, and this is what I was kind of talking about too. Like I like this. The other look that Evie had, I thought this was good, and I feel like
She's swinging back around.
Yeah, like in some other episodes, I haven't loved all of Evie's looks, but I thought these last two were very good for her.
Agreed. This is the strongest that I think she's had on the past couple.
Yeah.
Not that she hasn't had strong ones. This is again going back to what we had discussed before. We're like, they're all so great.
Right.
But
She's not putting in anything bad. She's just the worst of the best, which is
Yeah.
not a bad thing to be.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, because like there's people who can't even enter the conversation. You know,
being the worst
So, like,
singer in the Juilliard program, it's like you're still
Exactly.
in the Juilliard program,
Exactly.
but you're just bad.
Exactly. Like we're not gonna say you bad is the wrong word.
She's still a champion, a legend.
Exactly.
A champion and a hunter.
I only have one more Dolly look. It's Jinx's.
Ms. Monsoon. When you said you were sick of all the arm jaunts, I was like, this is a direct attack at Jinx.
I'm so happy you said that because this is who I had in mind as I was as I said that. Because as she came out just bopping around, I was like, enough now. I'm done. We get it. You're doing Dolly. And like at this point, I'm not even sure that that's Dolly. She don't look that silly. I mean, she's not like on her way with like a cotton candy at a carnival. Like, I mean, she's still Dolly Parton.
Yeah, everybody was so obsessed with it, and I was like, she literally was just like,
Exactly.
Yeah, it was more of her selling of the garment.
And it's like, enough now.
It was, to me, it was more of her selling of the garment than was the garment itself. Though in the Untucked, they had like the exclusive.
Yeah.
And what Ross and Rue both said about this was it was a really cool look of Dolly's to see because it was her transition out of country star into pop, like into the mainstream of stardom. So it's like a very, very early on. It's giving Taylor Swift still holding her guitar, like that kind of look, which beckons back to an old Dolly. So that's why they were in love with it. I think she
Right.
just sold it really well.
I also just think that we're trying to just again give that good edit for something that wasn't great.
Mhm.
And we're just trying to say, oh, okay, well, she's a champion, so we want to make sure we're saying some good things.
All over for me for Jinx a week.
You felt
Yeah.
too good about that. You were too proud of that.
You were so excited to introduce a week. Can that be a new segment?
Yeah.
That should be something we share in the socials. Like, who had a week?
Week. Let
And
me
it's
tell you.
just like a rant about like who was
Just
weak
go
that
off.
week.
Your
Like-
your 1 minute rant against your week.
But everyone gets like 15 seconds. That'll be one
Perfect.
full minute.
That's nice.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Don't just because I'm drinking vodka doesn't mean I don't do good math. Okay.
You know that? So then the only ones that we didn't have images of, I think, is Trinity, who the look was right, but the paint I hated. She had like the overdrawn nostril. She was also, I think, a yellow look. Hold on, maybe I do have a
Overdrawn
picture.
nostril.
She did. I was not live laugh loving it.
Yes.
If we recall this one,
Yeah.
Oh,
Not
the
loving
mouth.
it.
The mouth.
too much.
Enough.
Super overdrew the lips and like had them come out
It's
even
too
more.
much.
It's too much.
And-
It's too much.
Too much.
This
Too much.
one, this is my. I don't want to say it's a miss. It's a miss for me, but not a miss overall, but a rare miss for me from Miss Kool-Aid herself. I was not. She had those like chaps. She had the black outfit. I have a picture of it.
Oh yeah, like the biker dolly they were.
Yeah.
Biker
Nope.
dolly.
Oh, maybe I don't have a picture of it. I don't, because it wasn't good. It was.
Sorry, Shay.
Her beat was gorgeous. She looked beautiful. Hair was bellowing.
Mhm.
Something about how the chaps were hitting. It was like chaps on black. It wasn't doing it for me. I was like, I don't love this. It's really nice.
Is this
Yes, but you can't even see the bad chaps in it.
Yeah.
But there was
Yeah.
something like I was like, you are lucky that you had such a strong. Like if there were eliminations, I think she'd be in the bottom for that look. But she had a really strong performance, so I don't think she would have been. But who do you put in the bottom this week, Kyle? If you had to, who are the bottom two? Who's lip
See,
syncing
the
for their
problem
life?
is I really didn't watch the
Pay
end of this
attention.
one.
You're so right.
Yeah,
You're so
no,
right.
I was getting ready for this. So hold on. Let's see what we have here. Ooh.
So no, this
Yeah,
is from
that wasn't
this.
this. That
Yes,
wasn't this.
This one.
Yeah. We have this. Nope, not from here. Sorry, nothing's in order. Nothing's No, not from now. Who what? That's not from now. That's from now. That's from now. That's not from
Not.
now. That's from
Yes.
now.
Yep.
I think that's the front runner for me. Not from
Same.
now. Ooh. You want to know who the worst is?
Who are your bottom two?
I mean, well, Evie, without any say. I mean, obviously.
Oh, interesting.
Evie was your bottom for this week.
And for the challenge as
look at
well,
that.
again. But also think the challenge too. She gave you. The
I hated her
computer.
in the challenge.
That's fair.
I hated her in the challenge.
All
I'm
right,
sorry.
Well, I guess me and Kyle are on opposite sides of this
Yeah,
one.
sorry. I thought it was all too much. I thought that everything she was doing was way too individual for a group challenge.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I understand trying to be separate, like not to keep referencing the Spice Girls, but like, all of them were individual in their own way, but there was still something that brought the group together. And I felt that Evie spent so much time off on the side being Evie that like she
Okay.
wasn't really part of the group anymore.
That's fair.
I mean, how long are you gonna stand off on the side? Like enough now. like we get like we get it. I don't know. Evie really didn't do it. She's not doing it for me in most of this. I don't know. As far as worst look, I don't know.
Worst look.
I
Well, again,
I don't even
worst
remember
look
for all
and
the
worst
Dolly stuff.
performance.
Well, the worst performance for me was Evie.
Yeah.
Hands down. Looks is kind of hard for me. I don't remember them all.
That's fair.
But I was
Dumpy?
what you just
I
reminded
think-
me of the Shay one was really not great. But go ahead.
Didn't-
Go ahead, John. Yeah, sorry, Shay.
I could see. I think Trinity maybe was the worst performer.
But
The
she
Max
looked so
challenge?
good. She looked great. You don't think she looked great?
I think she looked okay.
Wow.
What-
Wow. I'm tired of her trains, but I thought she looked
I'm
great
so
in the
sorry.
challenge. Damn.
I don't know. She was also she was also in that group though with Raja, Monet, and Shay, who I thought looked so much better than she did, honestly. And I thought they were all better with their performance than she was.
Wow.
Little Ginjine?
I mean, I think my least favorite look was the one you had on your phone, the yellow one.
Trinity's.
Yeah, bad. Challenge, I don't know.
Trinity is my bottom. I work for between
Wow.
both of them, and I think
mean,
if you
Will agree with like in the challenge. It's not that it was bad. It's just that everybody else in her group was so good that she just didn't match up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yep.
So you think that Evie had a better group performance than Trinity?
See, I loved
I do.
Evie in the group. I understand why you
Oh.
don't, but
Wow.
if I had to put someone else on the bottom, I'd also put the Vivian just for that wig. Oh, I hate it so much.
the silhouette of it was so nice.
It was so pretty.
The body,
The whole
so pretty.
it's me being irrational. I know that, but I would be like, Rapunzel, burn that wig. Like I can't.
My thing about the Vivian and her wigs, though, especially when she chooses a wig that's like a little more straight and like kind of flowing down, like white girlish.
Yeah.
Her lines and edges are so flawless. Like
What
it
wig?
doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't even look like she's like a drag queen anymore. Like she truly looks like a woman. Like I just oh my god. Like anytime she appears for me like that, I'm always like just like flabbergasted at how we do that. I just think her look is so pristine and so fucking flawless. Like when they were lip syncing at the end and she's just sitting there because you just kind of watching, but she's in her lip sync garb.
Yeah.
Like she looks so fucking good.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
I hear you.
It's just her performance in some of these challenges are not good, but her looks are just like incredible.
Well, she references in Untucked how like she was grateful of the actual like the fact that she was put into not the wrong group, but the group she didn't want to be in, because every time that she's done this before, she's gotten the note that like it didn't look good, it didn't work. Because I'm pretty sure she was in the season of UK that had the "I wanna break up, bye
Bye,
which is a great song. Stream it. But
I think John has actually heard that.
great song. But she got terrible notes on that because she was trying too hard to be like freaking Little Mix. So
Yeah.
being in a group that took it very not seriously, like made it a joke and had more fun with it, showed more of herself and had her have more fun with it. So that was cool to see. Again, a cool arc of watching the shell that she has, I think reasonably has in this very, very foreign environment for her. We've seen it, but burn that wig. And then we have our top two this week, which was
So the top two was the
Who were
Vivian,
the top two?
the Vivian and Evie.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Evie!
I was so excited. I was so
I've been
excited
waiting for
that.
this moment.
Yeah, I have been waiting for this also. I was so excited to say this.
Wow, maybe we always do this.
Don't let Kyle watch the end of the episode.
The end.
Evie! Yeah.
What?
The Vivian and Evie, yeah. Oh man.
And who
That's
won
why-
this lip sync?
So
Wait,
the lip-
what was the song? What did they lip
The
sync
lip sync
to?
was "Why'd You Come In Here Looking Like That" by Dolly Parton.
It was a mix, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who
It
won
was-
it?
And the
Who
Vivian
do you think
won.
won it?
Oh.
But the Vivian won it. Yeah,
I would have said the Vivian. Like I would
Yeah,
not.
she did.
Like
That being said, you have no opinion on this, Kyle, but Gina and John, I don't agree. I don't think she won that. Like watching it, it was totally Evie. It's purely like they knew what was going to happen if
Right.
the Vivian got it. Which, Kyle, who do you think the Vivian blocked?
Well, obviously,
Bling,
then
bling, bling.
I'm hoping she was a complete bitch and blocked Jinx.
Absolutely, she did.
Oh,
Yeah.
delicious. No, I will tune back in. I want to watch. I will. I
Yeah.
do want to watch that, and I want to watch this lip sync. I just ran out of time.
Yeah.
Good. Fuck Jinx. I love Jinx. I love Jinx. No. No, I love Jinx. I love
Them
Jinx.
fighting
No.
words.
What did you say?
I said them fighting words. Well,
I
Gina
know.
said them fighting words for
Well,
me.
what did you say? You leaned in
I said,
real close.
oh, I said, you take that book. You take that
No,
book right now.
I'm not gonna take it back. I do like some good dramas, but
Same.
yeah, no, I like Jinx. I really like Jinx a lot. But like, I don't
Yeah.
know, there's something about the Vivian that's always been very special to me. But yeah, no, all right. I mean, I get it.
That being said, I think robbed this episode. I think Monet should have been in the top. I think Monet's look and her performance, she gave just as equally of good performance as the Vivian and served a better look to me. Like, I don't know how she's not in the top for that one.
Oh, it's funny
Yeah,
that's
crazy.
where you landed. Like, I would have said the top should have been then Vivian and Monet.
The only reason I disagree is I think Evie took a risk, and I haven't seen a lot of queens take a risk this season. I haven't seen it's crazy to be in a season that you know you're not going to leave, you know you will stay there forever, and not take risks throughout. So
But did you always know that you were going to be in a season that you weren't going home? Like, so many of these looks and so many of these things were decided before they got there. You think they knew that for sure?
Between me, you, and everyone listening,
I guess they probably did.
They're not signing up for this season. Like we said, you can't tarnish your legacy. You have to walk into it knowing you are not leaving. Maybe you don't know how you're not leaving, but you know you're not leaving because you're not also going to spend the money on all that stuff. Why? I'm already a winner.
So we're just awarding people because they took a risk, even if it still wasn't as good. Like,
I thought the risk
kind of
was
premium
good.
we're putting on the.
I thought the risk paid off. I didn't think it fell flat. Like, I think it was pretty funny. I think it worked enough with it all. Do I think it was the most cohesive thing in the world? No, I think they could have gotten a little bit more cohesive. But like the fact that she literally freezes for a while where everyone's continuing to do everything, that is humor. It also feels very, you can stay with me on this one. It feels very Josie and the Pussycats. Do you remember that movie?
No. I don't know Josie. I also don't know the
I
Cheetah
told
Girls.
James once, you don't know the Cheetah Girls? That's upsetting.
No, because the Cheetah Girls were a little bit after my time.
Oh,
I think
Cheetah
you
Girls
guys
is
forget
so
that
good.
I'm a little old.
Kyle,
in comparison.
Marie, you must watch Josie and the Pussycats.
I made the mistake of telling James one day I had never seen it, and he sat me down, and that was our activity for the day. He said, I can't go any longer knowing that you haven't seen it.
I can live with her. Sharing a wall with her, knowing that? No.
I know something. Doesn't like one of them has like some kind of like mouse ears, or maybe Pussycat
bad ears.
Like,
and they all
bat
do.
ears. Bat ears?
No, cat.
Oh, I'm like, bat ears. You lost
Josie and the
me.
Pussycats.
Right, I was like, that's why I don't understand why it's bats. I don't know why you said bats.
Bat ears. Yeah, they do. I was gonna say, do they have ears? They do. Thank you for asking. Josie and the Pussycats, phenomenal movie. Fire soundtrack full of original songs with all of them led by Rosario Dawson's in that movie. It's how I was exposed to her, obsessed with her. Tara Reid, also phenomenal. And then
I only care about Tara Reid unless she's dating Carson or in Sharknado.
Carson's in it. So Carson's in it, so perfect. This is great. And then third thing, I can't remember the main girl's name. Rachel something.
Rachel Lee Green?
Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes.
Is it really? I just said that because she's the name of that time.
Yes, it is Rachel Lee Green, and I get her confused with whoever played both Nessa Rose and Elphaba and Wicked, who's also Lee Green, but well, I digress. Rachel Lee Green, who was the lead but couldn't sing it, so they had the singer from Letters to Cleo, who's also the singer in 10 Things I Hate About You, that band that comes in at the end of 10 Things I Hate About You. She leads the vocals for the entire album.
So confused.
It's a lot of information for 11:06 p.m.
It's so good.
If you say so. I mean, we'll put it on our list
say.
of things to watch in the fall when we have some time.
Very upset you haven't watched the Cheetah Girls.
That's fine.
The Cheetah Girls are just Disney's regurgitation of 3LW, which is why I didn't need it.
Correct. Featuring most of 3LW.
Exactly.
Literally featuring most of their W.
That's why I was like, I don't care.
A thing that came up in Untucked that I think is an interesting thing to ask.
Tell us.
Raja shares that she
Raja.
graduated in 1992. She graduated from high school.
Okay.
When did we all graduate from high school? Mostly my question leans towards Kyle. When would we have? Just to, because I don't know who maybe didn't graduate, which is totally fine. But when were you supposed to graduate high school?
I can tell you that I successfully completed high school
And what year was that?
with a Regents diploma. I'll
Yes,
have you
yes.
know, all right,
Diploma.
highly decorated. Okay. And
New
she
York
made
State
her strut across the
groundbreaking.
stage in 2002.
Okay.
Yay.
Okay. So if you ever want to do the math for how old Raja is doing drag right now, 10 years older than you is Raja.
Right,
That's
which
pretty
means that
crazy.
Raja is 47.
Yeah, that's wild. Close to 50 and still rocking those fucking heels. Crazy. Dumpy, when did you graduate high school?
I successfully completed my studies at Cara Place High School in 2007.
Okay, but did you have a Regents diploma?
I had something. I don't know.
How
Like,
dare
yeah.
you highlight the fact that he was not as highly decorated?
I think I was more decorated.
So
What did you have? What did you have?
I don't know.
We gave you
Gina?
a chance to shine, and you dropped it.
My
Gina,
high
what
school
did you-
diploma is over there.
Okay, does it say advanced Regents diploma?
Let me
Advanced
say.
Regents
Let me
diploma?
go say.
It
Let me
says
say-
local.
let me say.
It says he did it.
He did.
It says good job. Period.
It says you rock. Don't ever change.
Congratulations, lowercase c.
It's got the little happy star on it.
Congratulations with the lowercase c. So stupid.
I do have. I have an advanced designation with the National Honor Society.
Oh,
Okay.
Highly decorated.
I didn't know I was chatting with a member of Mensa. Who else is decorated?
Oh my god. He must have taken an AP class.
Wow.
I took 5 AP classes in my senior year.
I can't wait for the next. I
overachiever.
can't wait for the next pod, ladies and gentlemen. We are joined by the highly decorated Professor John Todd Dunsey.
Oh God! Stop!
Thank God. A plus. No notes.
So stupid.
Oh, very dumb.
Gina, when did you
It is
graduate?
dumb.
I graduated in 2009. I did have a Regents diploma. I was also in 2 honor societies. I was in the Music Honor Society.
Real Honor Society.
Don't be rude. And I was in the International Thespian Society.
Also not a-
Both real. I was
Just
in them. I had
racking up
honor
honors
cords.
left and
I
right.
had 2 honor cords at graduation. They were real to
How
me.
much did you pay
Walking
for that?
across that high school graduation
My-
stage, both hands full of trophies, looking like Beyonce. We can't even get across this whole thing. I'm just so highly decorated. I'll have you know. That's why my name is what? Morgino. Thank you.
I was
Thank you.
giving
Write it
you
down,
Morgino,
clock it.
thank you.
Goodbye. So stupid. And tell us about your
Jumps.
decorations.
I graduated in 2010. I don't want to brag. I'm the youngest here. Youth
Oh.
and beauty.
Mm,
I will still get
mm.
filler.
Sipping from the fountain, James
know that
Walsh.
And I think I had an advanced Regents diploma, which was cool. And I also was Tri-M, the Music Honor Society, the Thespian Honor Society, of which I was president. No, well, if you're going to call it out, I'm going to call it out. I was the president of that one. And then I was in the National Honor Society as well, which was not a stole that they gave you, or the cord, sorry.
No.
They gave you a medal. I said, I don't want this.
We got a pin. Now, hold on. Now, I didn't know we were talking about these other decorations, okay? Because I did have some things, okay? I was the associate editor of the newspaper. All right. I did win an award for Best High School Editorial You know, I'm from Adelphi University. All right, really
Oh,
recognized.
Delphi.
Right,
Which
that's
is
right.
really
That's right.
amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. I was also in the Honor Society. I was also in theater. Okay, I did things.
You like journalism?
I love journalism. That's
That's
actually what I
super
went. That's actually
fascinating.
what I went to college for. Yeah.
Oh my
And then
god.
I found banking, and they just kept throwing promotions at me. I said, "Well, fuck you, journalism."
Period.
And that's kind of how that happened. Yeah, yeah. No, I was really into that.
That's super interesting. Where'd you go for journalism?
I was only going to Suffolk.
No, that's fine. That's great
But then, like,
though.
I didn't go any further because, again, these promotions were being
Banking.
thrown at me, so I just stopped.
Which
Right.
if the bank is going to give you money, that's honestly cheating the system, and I love that. That feels like monopoly money.
Right. You're welcome. She won.
She
is
won
really good.
$200 every time I pass Go, and Go is the front door of a Miss TD Bank.
Well,
I mean,
and
to be fair, you're now serving radio journalism, so we all
true. Full circle.
right. I haven't really stepped that far out. You know, we're back in it. We're living, we're thriving. I'm using all of my knowledge for my hobby instead. It's not making
That's
me any
nice.
money. I'm spending money for it, but that's fine.
yet
That's fine.
yet.
Yes.
Listen,
We are
dear listeners, if we have any ads on this at any point in our career, that's not now, but if we do, just buy that Casper mattress, that purple mattress. You need it. If
right.
you
We're not
hear a thing-
advertising Casper here. If we're going to advertise
Yeah.
anything, it's going to be purple just because that's my favorite color.
Listen, depends on how much money they give us. That Fresh Direct box, you need it.
I would take a slight hit for purple.
Yeah.
I would take a little less just for the
That's fair.
branding.
Super fair.
Yeah.
Super fair. Well,
That's it.
Casper just
Right.
wrote us off right now, and now Purple's gonna
Yeah.
lowball us. We played our cards too broadly.
Or they're going to see how passionate we are. We're passionately purple.
Our background's purple.
We are your passionately purple pals. Come sponsor us.
Is Jan sponsored by Purple? Anyways,
She should
let's
be.
talk for later.
We're way off.
I cut off your wrap up. I
Already an
apologize.
Hour and 40 minutes. We should wrap up. So next week, hopefully Monday at 9:30, right? If we're free.
Mhm.
Right after Pride.
Aw.
Is-
Yeah, how appropriate.
Is that gonna be? I know Kyle's big on numbers and milestones. Is that gonna be a big episode for us?
It's possible. There is some potential for there to be another episode sometime this week, depending on what clearances we receive.
Gotcha.
Right. Which means then, that's interesting because I almost now that means that episode 100 would be a BBAU episode, which really is not great.
Because Drag Race is so much better for the brand.
No, really, just because I want Gina a part of episode 100, and
So
she hasn't
100.
been
I don't
watching.
know anything about Australian Survivor. I don't know anything about Australian Big Brother, but I can learn.
She said Australian Survivor. I didn't even realize what the problem was. I was like, why is she saying no? But why is she acting like that? I just started a season of Australian Survivor the other day. This is too much. So anyway, next week, hopefully, either episode 100 or 101.
Let's find out.
Let's find out. Watch the socials. Does anybody else have anything else to add on tonight?
Happy Pride. If you celebrate this weekend, be safe, drink water.
Oh, that's so sweet. So very thoughtful. And be safe. Look out for unattended packages and things like that. People are crazy.
Sure.
The world's not good.
Listen, if you don't know what it is, don't put it up your nose yet. Have someone else do it first.
That
Oh my God.
advice is not officially endorsed by the rest of the podcast. That is a James Walsh exclusive. That's just
Haven't
for
done
him.
yet. I'm
Yeah.
youthful.
It's getting scarier by the moment. Thank you for listening. Thanks for watching. You can find us on the socials at BB Jury Duty or on our website, bbjuryduty.com. Wait, John, did you have a final thought? You said nothing when I asked.
No, that was it. I think we hit everything that I was thinking for these last two episodes.
Thank goodness. Otherwise, I would have been a dick for trying to shut this thing down. Thank you so much for listening. Like, subscribe, share with a friend. We're out of here. Thanks so much.